On the tinsel front is a dramatized reading of letters written by an American soldier, Corporal Oliver Whelan, to his sister Elizabeth during World War II. These letters were discovered 4 decades after the war in the attic of a London home. This is Season 1, Episode 4. This is the Army.
March 4th, 1943. Dear Bet, it's been a whirlwind, but I'm in Burbank on the Warner's lot and am a member of the cast of This is the Army. Do you believe it? I saw the show in New York before leaving for pre-flight. I found a lot of it to be silly, but the music was fun and inspiring. After Reagan gave me my orders, I was in a daze as I ran back to Lois's to pack. Elle and Shelly were with Lois in the kitchen. When I burst in breathing hard, Lois jumped up, alarm on her face.
Oh, my Lord. Ollie, what are you on the run?
Run? Run from who?
Do we have to hide you?
Hide?
No, it's okay. They're just getting rid of me. They're sending me to Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers?
What's going on? Why were you going to hide him?
Ollie got into some trouble.
I'm supposed to be in the cast of This is the Army.
The Berlin show?
Well, that's better than the stockade.
Stockade?
Wait, you're going to be in the movie?
I think so.
That's wonderful!
I have to pack and get back.
Back to where?
Ollie, this is so exciting!
I still don't know what happened.
You have to tell me everything. Everything!
Girls, let the boy pack.
When I got back to Fort Roach, Miller was waiting for me. What happened, Miller? This is crazy.
Don't complain. Works out for everyone.
But this musical thing...
It fit the bill. Because the movie has to be bigger and better than the stage show, Warner's is doubling the size of the cast and pulling in soldiers from all over town. As he has a role in it, Reagan was able to get you in. Like you, he's been temporarily attached to that unit.
What happens when the film's done?
Guess you'll cross that bridge when you get to it. Here's Sipriani now. He's returning some set pieces to Warner's.
You the guy I'm taking?
Yep.
Throw your kit in the back and climb on in.
Thanks, Miller, for everything.
Good luck, Whelan. Try to have some fun. Maybe we'll see you back here sometime. And if you run into Reagan, try not to tear him a new asshole like you did Bellows.
I acknowledge that with a wave. As we went down Hollywood Boulevard, Sipriani, the driver, pointed out the big movie palaces where they had premieres. Grauman's Chinese, the Egyptian, the Pantages. We turned up a pass and went over some hills to Burbank, where Warner Brothers is located. Sipriani dropped me off at the studio gate where the guard directed me to the back lot. There they had constructed a compound of tents to house the soldiers in the cast. I signed in with the corporal on duty and was assigned a tent, which I share with 5 other guys. Constructed by the studio carpenters, the tents are surprisingly nice. They have electricity and heaters. There's no mess hall. We eat at the studio commissary. I went over there for dinner with a couple of guys who afterwards were going off to a bar for some beers. But it had been a long day and I hit the sack. In the morning, I was surprised to be awakened by reveille, which blew at a leisurely 7 a.m., but still got us up. I learned we were expected on the parade ground at 9 for inspection, drills, and marches. At Fort Roach, there hadn't been anything so military. Here, however, the Army felt the need to remind us we were soldiers and keep us busy when we weren't on the set, which I was told would be often. An obstacle course had also been constructed for our use. We were expected to run it at least 3 times a week. Learning I wouldn't be doing anything that day, I decided to give it a go. It was hard. I hadn't had much exercise since boot camp. I was so winded by the time I got to the rope wall that I struggled to get to the top. I was going to give up and drop back down when a colored soldier appeared above me and reached down to offer me a hand. I grabbed it and he pulled me up. Whew. Much obliged. I wouldn't have made it. I'm a little...
You must be one of the new boys.
Yeah, I got here yesterday. Name's Whelan. Oliver. Or Ollie.
I'm Robert Lewis, but everyone calls me Toes.
Toes? Oh, is that because you're a dancer?
No, it's because I have big toes. You a song and dance man?
Me? Oh, God, no. I was sent over here because I got into some trouble with my last unit.
That's not surprising. Me and the boys can't believe the non-talent they are packing into this movie. It was crowded enough on tour. Here it's like the whole dang army is going to be on stage.
You been with the show from the beginning?
Day one, since we started rehearsals on Long Island.
Oh, then I saw you on Broadway. Your Harlem number is amazing. It's the best in the show.
I knew there was a reason I liked you. If you had said otherwise, I would have pushed you off this wall.
So you don't get tired of doing the show every night?
Beast getting shot at. Though that might happen yet. There's talk of us taking it overseas.
Oh, lucky you. I'd like to get over there.
Why aren't you?
Long story. I gave him the highlights. He was amused. We finished the course together. While I was exhausted, Toes wasn't even breathing hard.
Well, Ollie, we'll be seeing you around. You take care of yourself. And do me a favor. Get yourself into better shape.
Thanks. I'll do that. Laughing, he ran off. I went back to my tent and fell asleep. Dear Bet, had my first day on This Is the Army. Today after breakfast, we assembled on our makeshift parade ground and marched over to the studio's scoring stage. We filled some bleachers that had been set up in front of a piano. There was like 150 of us. We were handed sheets of music and taught the songs that we, the soldier chorus, would sing in the movie. Once our teacher was satisfied, we took a break for lunch. When we came back in, we were joined by the guys from the stage show who already knew the music. And there was now an orchestra. We ran through the songs a couple of times, then recorded them. Afterwards, they told us to memorize the songs so we could sing them perfectly without looking at the lyrics. That's because once we got on the set, we'd be lip-syncing to the recording. Dismissed, we marched back to our tents. Never thought this was how I'd be fighting the war. That night at the commissary, I was looking for a place to sit when I heard someone calling.
Hey! Weak obstacle course man. Over here.
It was Toes, who was with some of the other colored soldiers from the cast.
Stop wandering around and join us.
I confess I hesitated for a second, not sure whether it was okay to sit with them. It wouldn't have been down in Louisiana. It was dawning on me, however, that unlike the rest of the Army, there was no segregation in this unit. I headed over.
Hey, everybody. This is Whelan, who I had to pull up the rope wall the other day.
Come on over. Sit yourself down next to me.
This is Stump.
If you don't like Stump, there's a space over here.
And that's Spoons.
Frankly,
And over there, with his mouth full,
I wouldn't sit next to either of them.
Willy boy.
I recognized Stump as James Cross, the Stump of the song and dance duo Stump and Stumpy, and the lead performer in the Harlem number. I think I also recognized the heavy-set Spoons from New York. And Willy Boy may have been the actor who, dressed as a woman, dances with Stump.
Whelan here was named after Oliver Hardy. You can call him Ollie.
You don't say.
He an uncle or something?
I wasn't named after him. He's making that up.
That may be the case. But why not tell people that?
Hell yeah, it's a conversation starter.
That's for sure.
Ollie here was a pilot cadet. Only his body didn't like being up in the air, so it rebelled, decorating the cockpit with his breakfast. His distinguished career didn't end there. For some reason, the Army sent him out to Hollywood, where he was put to work washing dishes. He told his sergeant boss, who was a real jerk, to go to hell. And what did they do to punish him? They put him in this show.
So, how you gonna mess up here?
That I'm trying to figure out.
Any screw-up like you is welcomed here.
As we ate, they regaled me with funny stories of the show's tour across the country. It was really nice to be included. For the first time since I'd gotten to Los Angeles, it felt like I had some friends. When we had all finished and it came time to move on...
So, Mr. Oliver Whelan, what are we going to call you?
Call me?
A stage name. You gotta have a stage name if you're gonna be in this show and hang with us. How about Barf Boy?
Or Fly Boy, since he ain't never gonna be one.
Or Balls, because he stood up to that sergeant.
Or maybe Ollie becomes Lollipop.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that is definitely.
Absolutely.
And so I became Lollipop. Once I realized how much free time I had and that Culver City wasn't that far away, I telephoned Elle. Elle, it's me, Ollie.
Ollie! It's Ollie! How are you? How's it going on the movie?
It's fine. Kind of fun, actually. What's new there?
Shelly got promoted to foreman on the day shift. No surprise, given how capable she is. She brought me along with her, so we're both working normal hours.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, though I like her less now that she's my boss.
Remember, I can fire you.
It is nice to have evenings free. And the nights I'm at the canteen, I don't have to leave early to get to work.
That all sounds good. So, Elle, we had talked about going out. And, well, now that you have your evenings, I could come out. We could go to dinner or a movie. How about next Wednesday? I'm not called to shoot anything that day.
Sure, Ollie. That would be nice.
Great. Wonderful. I'll be at the house when you get home from your shift.
It's a date.
I was over the moon. Today we shot the This Is the Army number. Told to wear summer uniforms with tie tucked, we assembled at 0800 on our parade ground and marched over to a soundstage where the set of a theater stage had been built. On it were bleacher-like steps 11 rows high, designed to hold the 200 of us. A choreographer took us through the movements. It was pretty simple stuff, standing up, sitting down, going from attention to at ease, marching in place. Though it wasn't easy to remember, and we had to run through it again and again before we had it down. Finally, the director came in and spoke to us. He had this thick accent that was a little hard to understand.
Hello, gentlemen. My name is Michael Curtiz. I am the director on this movie. I am told you've all been working hard at learning the songs and the movement. I thank you for that. As you can tell, there's quite a lot of you to move in front of the camera. Some may say too many. So I must ask for your patience. We're going to have to shoot this number many, many times to get it right.
He wasn't lying. By the end of the day, it felt as if we had done it 1,000,000 times. The day of my date with Elle arrived. Free after morning calisthenics and marching, in the afternoon I made my way to Culver City. I let myself into Lois's, thinking nobody was home, only to find Elle sitting in the living room. She didn't appear to be doing anything. She was just sitting there, staring into space. Elle, what are you doing home? I thought you'd be at work.
I told Shelly I was sick, but I'm not. I just didn't feel like going.
Oh, okay.
I hate that place. It is so loud and so uncreative.
I can see that, I guess. So it's kind of early for dinner. You want to go for a walk or something? Or hit a matinee? She didn't respond and just kept staring ahead. But then, as if she stepped back into the room...
We could go... To the beach.
The beach? Really? Is it close?
It's only a few miles away. Wait, Ollie, are you telling me that you've never been to the beach here?
No, I haven't.
You've never seen the Pacific Ocean?
No, I never really had the time.
Well, then we have to go.
What, now?
Yes, now.
I don't know. It's a little cold out and...
We can take the red car. Let's go.
I thought this was crazy. But she had jumped up and was suddenly energized, so I wasn't about to say no. As soon as we were on the red car, Elle wanted to hear everything about shooting This Is the Army. When I told her how the director had a thick Eastern European accent...
What's his name?
Michael, Curtiz? No, Curtiz. That's it, Michael Curtiz.
Oh my God. He directed Casablanca. Have you seen it?
No.
It's the new Humphrey Bogart movie. It is so good and so romantic. I cannot believe you are working with Michael Curtiz. If I came over there, could you introduce me?
Well, it's not like I'm on a first-name basis with the guy. He's always like 100 feet away.
Maybe you should figure out a way to get closer. You can't make it in this town if you don't take the initiative.
But I don't want to make it in this town.
Then what do you want?
I don't know. To get in the fight. Go overseas. Serve my country.
Don't give me those lines. That's what all soldiers and sailors say to show how brave they are, when deep down inside they're terrified. And I'm not talking about the war anyway. What is it you want out of life? Here, you have a big opportunity. You should take advantage.
I didn't ask to be sent here, Elle.
You have to take control of your life, Ollie. You can't let yourself be bounced around like a pinball.
Of course.
So what is it you want?
I don't know.
Well, figure it out, won't you? Do that for me, okay?
She turned and looked out the window, not saying another word. I said nothing, not knowing how to deal with her strange mood. But when we got off the train, that mood lifted. Suddenly, she was excited like a little girl. She locked her arm in mine, and we set out from the tracks. In the distance, I could hear waves crashing. The smell of salt was in the air.
They call this beach town Playa del Rey. I just love all the Spanish names in Los Angeles, don't you? So exotic, so seductive. I like to say them over and over again. Playa del Rey, Santa Monica, La Cienega.
Los Angeles.
Playa del Rey, Santa Monica,
La Cienega, Los Angeles. Coming to a sand dune, we pulled off our shoes and scaled it. The sand was cool and moist on my bare feet, a wonderful sensation. Then we were on top of the dune, and oh my God, Bet, it's hard to describe. This big, magnificent, endless body of water. We were on a big bay. To the north were mountains. To the south, a large peninsula rose from the sea. And farther out? Is that an island?
Yes, it's called Catalina. Santa Catalina.
Santa Catalina.
Santa Catalina. Santa Catalina.
We said it 3 times, as if it were an incantation that could swoop us there across the water.
I found my love in Avalon, beside the bay. That's where Avalon is, on Catalina. I left my love in Avalon and sailed away.
Letting out a whoop, Elle ran down the dune to the water. Not caring if she got wet, she threw her shoes down on the sand and waded out. Elle, what are you doing? She only laughed and went out further. The surf was soon almost up to her waist. Elle, be careful!
Come on in, Ollie.
I don't think so.
Ollie, please, you came thousands of miles to be here. How can you not at least get your feet wet?
How could I not indeed? I rolled up my pants and waded in. Whoa, it's cold!
Oh, come on, you scaredy cat.
I'm fine. Whoa, hey, no splashing.
Don't be a party poop. Come on.
Well, I don't want to get my pants wet. And you're getting kind of far out. Why don't you come back in?
Okay.
As she moved back towards me, she gave me a seductive smile and opened her arm.
Hey, sweet Ollie. Come here.
Was she going to give me a hug? A kiss? Hoping I stepped forward to meet her, she wrapped her arms around my waist and gave me a fierce hug. Then pulled herself backwards, toppling both of us into the surf just as a big wave came along. Jesus Christ, Elle! Are you crazy?
I baptize you in the name of the Father, Son, and...
We have to get out of here. I grabbed her and dragged her back onto the beach. She came along but just kept laughing. We were completely drenched. Once we were out, Elle dropped down onto the sand. What are you doing? You're getting sand all over you. We should get back before we catch our death. Then I noticed that her laughs had turned to sobs. She was weeping uncontrollably. And I had no idea what to do. It's okay, Elle. Everything's okay. We're safe. We're wet, but we're safe. Let's get back up to the train. It was as if she didn't hear a word I said. She just kept crying. All I could do was sit down next to her and hold her until she stopped. Come on now. Let's get you home and into a nice hot shower. She said nothing, but responded to my prodding and stood up, holding on to me as we made our way up the beach and over the dune to the red car stop. We were quite a sight when, shivering, we stepped into the car. We had stopped dripping, but were obviously wet and covered with sand. Ignoring disapproving looks and a few smiles, I got Elle into a seat. It was getting dark by now. She didn't say a word the whole trip back. She just held my hand and rested her head on my shoulder. Her silence continued as we got off in Culver City and walked back to the house. Inside, she turned to me.
Thanks, Ollie.
Are you okay, Elle? I mean, she silenced me by putting a finger on my lips, then leaned in and kissed my cheek. She then slipped into the bathroom, closing the door. When I heard the shower running, I leaned back against the wall, suddenly exhausted. I was still wet, sandy, and cold. Having taken my whole kit to Burbank, I didn't have any spare clothes, so I took off my pants, shirt, and coat, hung them on chairs in the kitchen, turned on the oven, and opened its door in hope the heat might dry them out. I wrapped a towel around my waist and sat down in a chair by the oven. It got so wonderfully warm in the kitchen, and that trip to the beach had taken so much out of me, that I nodded off.
Ollie!
What? Oh! Shelly had come home and found me.
Goodness gracious sakes alive. Ollie, what is going on? How come you don't have any clothes on? And why is it so hot in here? My gosh, the oven is on. What are you trying to do? Burn the place down?
No, I have an explanation.
I don't know if I want to hear it. Get your clothes back on.
Elle and I went to the beach. We got wet.
To the beach?
When Shelly calmed down, I told her about the beach and Elle's strange behavior. What's going on with her, Shelly?
I don't know. All I know is I go out of my way to get her on my shift and she pretends to be sick. How does that make me look?
Should we be concerned?
I warned you, Ollie. Elle's mixed up. Don't get too involved.
Then, as if on cue, Elle walked in, dressed to go out and acting all chipper as if the beach never happened.
Ooh, like the towel, Ollie. Oh, hi, Shell. Good shift?
Yeah. just peachy. Feeling better?
Oh, yes, much. But I gotta go.
Wait, but we had a date. We were going out, get dinner, maybe see a movie.
We did? Oh, no. I must have gotten the dates confused. Sorry, Ollie. Can we do it another time? I tell you what, why don't you come to the canteen next week when I'm there? Like Thursday? I'll save a dance for you.
As a wave of anger welled up inside me, she stepped up and gave me another kiss on the cheek.
I'll make it up to you, Ollie. I promise. See you at the canteen.
And with that, she moved to the front door, opened it, and stepped outside. I couldn't believe it. I looked at Shelly, who sighed and gave me a shrug. For a second, I just sat there. Then I got up and followed Elle out the door. I didn't know what I was going to say, but I had to say something.
Ollie.
But by the time I got outside, Elle was already getting into a car, a different one from that first night. This time I paid more attention, especially to the license number, which the streetlight illuminated as it headed down the street. When I turned around, Shelly was standing in the doorway, waiting for me.
Why don't you take a shower, Ollie, while I see what I can do about your clothes? Then I'll whip something up for us to eat.
Resigned, I nodded, then followed her inside.
On the Tinsel Front is written, produced, and directed by Christopher Bomba. The role of Oliver Whelan is voiced by Brian Stanton. Joining him in this episode is Robbie Trombetta as Lois, Katherine James as Shelly, Samara Frame as Elle, James Coyle as Miller, Tom O'Connor as Sipriani, Dante Alexander as Toes, Myk Price as Stump, Caleb A. Fields as Spoons, Sufyan Mahmoud as Willy Boy, and Zane Acord as Michael Curtiz. I'm Mary Bomba. While On the Tinsel Front purports to tell a true story, all the characters are fictional, except for the real-life personalities, some more recognizable than others, who actually served in the wartime positions they do here. For more information about these people, Hollywood during World War II, and the actors, visit the podcast website at onthetinselfront.com.